take questions.
Yeah, first off, good to see all of you. Secondly, wanted to thank our fans. We had about 2,500 fans that traveled to Clemson this week, and we felt it, and it was amazing. It was really cool for us to run through that tunnel and see all of our fans filled up two sections, and the support that we have. And obviously, we would have loved to have given them a little bit more to cheer about, but I really appreciated how they showed up and were loud and pulled us on and stayed throughout the entire game. So expect that to happen again this week. Our guys are really excited about being home. We understand the test that's at hand and know we're playing a great football team, but to be able to be at home with homecoming and pack this place out on Saturday would be a big deal. And so proud of our guys, proud of the way they've come back to work this week. We've challenged them. There's no question about it. Would have loved this past weekend to not give them as many gifts as we did, but we played an excellent football team that took advantage of everything that we gave them and then made plays on their own. So didn't start near fast enough, and then we never really got into a groove. Felt like we ran the football pretty well. I thought our Alex Highsmith, Cam Clark, Benny LeMay, those three guys look like Sunday players, and proud of their effort. I thought we fought for 60 minutes in times where you're getting humbled on national television and you can lay down, but our guys have a lot of fight in them, and they've showed that again this week by coming back out and preparing for a great Florida Atlantic team.
Coach, 2-2 first game of the season as you get ready for conference play. Is this where you thought you would be? Are you happy where you are?
No, I'm not happy where we are. I wanted to be 4-0. I still, whether you lose to Clemson, App, or Gardner-Webb or UMass, you still never want to get to the point where losing's acceptable. So, your goal every year when you strap it up is to go undefeated. And I think we've matured and progressed a lot as a football team, but we're not where we need to be. We're not where I would like to be. And, the great part about it is our goals, besides going undefeated, are still out in front of us. We want to protect the home turf, and our goal is to win a conference championship. It'll be that way every year that they allow me to be here, and we understand the task that's at hand. We know it's not going to be easy. We know we got a long way to go. We're still the team that they pick to finish dead last in this conference. So this is week one, and we got to make sure that we play extremely well and protect home turf.
Dovetailing off that, I want to ask the players about the fresh start. You kind of talked about it today. You're 0-0. Did you have talked about that to them, and how did you say it? What did you say?
Well, to me, you try to set a precedent for what it's going to be like for years and years here. Yes, you are starting conference play, but the fact of the matter is you're still 2-2, and so your conference championship goal, your bowl goals, all those type of things that you have as a program, those goals are still there, but it's not like you want to act like the other four games just didn't happen. We need to, every game we play in is important, and we need to try to find ways to win it. So, I haven't talked a whole lot about being 0-0. I've just talked about this is the first conference game, and it's at home, and we're playing a really good football team. But the record is what it is.
You mentioned the fact that you were picked to finish last. How much do you dwell on the low expectations? Because everybody talks about having a chip on their shoulder. We knew that coming into the year. How do you sell that, or do you?
I think that this team is so convinced that we're a different football team than they've been in the past that I don't know if you have to dwell on that anymore. They've got a different confidence, and we're playing really hard. Obviously, the execution has got to continue to improve, but I don't even think this team feels like they're like they were in the past. They're a different group. It's a different set of coaches. Everything is new. So they understand where we were picked. They've got that chip on their shoulders. They understand that, we've got to continue to make a name for ourselves, and they're doing that daily.
Coach, injury, do you expect Jeff back and some of the other guys?
I don't know about Jeff. I wish I felt better right now. I know we got to get Luke Martin ready to play and get Jalen Sharp playing some will for us this week, and Henry Segura's done a really good job. So we'll have to see how it goes later on this week.
Coach, to that point, where would you assess where that depth is now, after a third of the season going into conference?
Well, it feels like you created depth and then all of a sudden they get hurt, you know? But that's the way college football goes. I mean, injuries are never an excuse. It's a physical game, and you have no idea who's going to be ready week in and week out. I mean, some things, you know, Prince Beeman gets hurt in practice after having a great week. So, I just think you've got to keep your head down and say we got to make sure we're getting 100 guys ready to play, because as soon as you worry about just creating a two deep, your second guy's gone, and now you're on to your third one. So it's a work in progress, but I think the guys that we put in have stepped up and made some really good plays.
How much film of the previous matchups have you seen? Because while it's only a 4-year rivalry, it is unusual. Home teams 0-4, the road teams won every game in this series.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've watched a little bit of last year's game. I watched obviously more of our offense versus, our defense versus their offense. Because both of those guys are on staff at Florida Atlantic, and that's been interesting to watch. So, predominantly I've watched more of what they've done this year with their personnel. I think the personnel on offense is very different. Obviously, losing the back they lost a year ago, is exceptional. And so they've got more running back by committee, and they got some really good players back there. I think their quarterback is playing really good football. They got some wideouts that are really long and win the 50-50 balls, very similar to what we saw this past week. And they got some slots that can really run. So they seem to be clicking on all cylinders on offense right now. Their schedule's been tough. I mean, really tough. And so now they're the same way we are, you know, getting into conference play 2-2. And I know it's a big week for them as well.
Have you had any prior relationship with Coach Kiffin in the past, like you did with Coach Smith?
When I think about Coach Kiffin, obviously the similarities, 30 years old and becoming a first-time head coach. I think his was with the Oakland Raiders and mine was at Austin Peay, so very similar situations. I've really enjoyed being around Coach Kiffin, and I've had a chance to twice now. I think when you look at his experiences, Oakland Raiders, Southern Cal, Tennessee, Alabama, and then the job he did, especially in year one at Florida Atlantic, which I know they're working on getting back to right now. He's an exceptional football coach, and I've really enjoyed being around him. I think what I like about him the most is he's very confident in who he is. He may be my favorite person to follow on Twitter because he has zero filter, and he's doing a great job. And he's always been an offensive genius. You know, people have always respected what he's been able to do offensively, and he's done some really good jobs at the stops where he's been. So he's been through a lot, he's learned a lot, and he's been around some great people.